welcome to the seminar of ChatGPT tricks. First of all, I wanted to let you know that last week I attended to a panel discussion where there were a lot of questions regarding what I am studying, where I'm working, and I invited a lot of people. Therefore, first I would like to introduce myself. My name is Anikó, and I finished legal university actually in Hungary, and I have attended 3 semesters in Germany, Passau, and after my studies I continued studying here in legal master in IT law. During I was working for Deloitte legal management consulting, and my position is a legal engineer. So therefore, after my presentation, I will leave some time to discuss the presentation, of course, and also you can ask me questions about me, personal questions as well. And now I would like to start with my presentation today on ChatGPT tricks. What is legal prompting? If you have questions during my presentation, feel free to send me a private message in the chat, which I will answer in the Q&A session at the end. All right? So I will not, feel free to ask me in Hungarian as well, German maybe, but if you are shy to write in the chat, just write on me on the chat if it's possible. So today's lecture will contain these topics. First, I will define what is actually AI. Then I will go forward with the prompting, of course, common pitfalls and mistakes kind of, and strategies, how to prompt. I mentioned some legal AI tools just in case, and then at the end, there will be a Q&A session. However, since I want to first start with a very controversial message, just at the beginning. In my opinion, ChatGPT is not the optimal solution for legal departments. Yes, it's controversial, of course. However, since it is accessible to everyone, you may find yourself effectively co-piloting legal matters with this type of generative AI. And after this presentation, hopefully, very efficiently. So I see people cursing AI terminology all the time. So I thought it would be useful for us to clarify some of the basic terms that we are typically using. What is AI briefly? Artificial intelligence refers to the simulation of human intelligence processed by machines. These processes include learning, reasoning, and self-correction. Learning means that the acquisition of information and rules for using that information, and then reasoning means using these rules to reach approximate or definitive conclusion, and self-correction. The goal of AI is to create systems that can perform tasks that would typically require human intelligence, such as understanding natural language, recognizing patterns in data, making decisions, and solving problems. And AI has application in various fields, including healthcare, finance, transportation, and of course, legal. And we are using AI without also noticing. For example, search engines in Google, when it's ranking the relevance, it actually decided by complex machine learning models. Or for example, email filtering and organization. Email service provides the use of machine learning algorithm to filter spam to put messages into folders, or Gmail using smart compose, which is used to complete your sentences in an email. So those are all AI. And it refers to the simulation of human intelligence processed by machines, enabling them to perform tasks that typically require human cognition. Machine learning is the subset of AI that focuses on algorithms, allowing machines to learn from data, identifying patterns, and make decisions without explicit programming. And deep learning is a type of machine learning that utilizes also neural networks with many layers to learn representation of data at multiple levels of abstraction, enabling to solve complex tasks such as image or speech recognition. And neural networks are computational models, and they are inspired by the structure and function of the human brain. And it's composed of interconnected nodes that process and transmit this information. And it's literally designed like a nerve system. And then the generative AI, it involves algorithms that can generate new content, such as images, text, of course, or even music based on patterns learned from existing data. It uses data which has been taught to it. Since my presentation is about ChatGPT tricks, I want to make a connection between AI and ChatGPT. ChatGPT is generative conversational AI developed by OpenAI and is designed to understand and generate human-like text based on the input it receives. So what can Gen AI do? For example, content creation. Content creation is important in legal matters regarding ChatGPT, as it can assist with drafting legal documents, contracts, briefs. The personalization and the recommendation in legal matters with ChatGPT involve offering tailored legal advice, case-specific recommendation, customizing legal documents, and managing client relationship effectively. And this actually ensures the client relationship, and it assists in decision making. The simulation and prediction with ChatGPT legal matters assist in predicting case outcomes, analyzing risk, supporting decision making as well, and optimizing resource allocation. And this leads to more informed strategies, effective risk management, or resource usage, for example. And anomaly detection in legal matters with ChatGPT is essential for preventing fraud, for example, ensuring compliance, or it's kind of basically serves as an early warning system and enhancing security measures. But what can we do with AI in legal field? How can we call the processes, the task, what the AI do in legal field? Here are some examples so that we can comprehend how we can utilize technology. For example, legal research. Legal research is the systematic investigation and analysis of legal principles, cases, statutes, and regulation to find relevant information and precedents for legal matters. Document review and due diligence. Document review is involved a comprehensive examination and analysis of legal documents or contracts and financial records as well, to assess their accuracy, completeness, and the compliance with relevant laws and regulations. And predictive analytics, here they can analyze historical legal data. This means that they predict case outcomes. They assess litigation risk and then recommend legal strategies. And they use patterns and trends in previous cases and literally predict the outcome. Therefore, they help with the decision making. E-discovery is, I think, the first legal area where AI has been used. And it provides suggestions, generates templates, and even auto-generates sections based on predefined criteria. It finds electronic evidence of legal proceedings, and it basically identifies relevant evidence while minimizing the burden and cost associated with manual document review. So instead of manual reading a lot of documents, it does it much more faster, and maybe with less mistakes. The next one is the virtual legal assistant. It's an AI-powered software or tool designed to provide support to legal professionals by, for example, automating tasks, managing schedules, and offering assistance with legal research, or maybe document drafting a little bit as well. And then regulatory monitoring involves the ongoing tracking and analysis of changes in laws, regulation, and policies relevant to a particular industry where we are using these tools, or jurisdiction where we are, to ensure compliance and therefore mitigate risks. But how we use AI to make content? How we ask the Gen AI to help us? It's called prompt. For us, we will focus on legal matters where AI can be utilized for improving efficiency, accuracy, and accessibility. AI writing prompts are a form of interaction between a user and the AI tool that enables the model to generate the desired result. And prompts enhance the efficiency of an AI platform, so it processes data more efficiently to derive insights and generate engaging content. And legal prompt engineering is the process of carefully crafting and optimizing prompts for AI assistant to effectively address legal queries or provide accurate legal information and assist in various legal tasks. Prompt engineering is all about crafting smart and effective questions or prompts that guide AI tool to give you the best possible answers or outcomes. And LLMs, large language models like ChatGPT, are AI systems that are trained on vast amounts of text, so that they can generate human-like text based on the prompts you give them. And think of it like asking a really well-read friend a question. The better you ask this question, the better the answers can be. So even though you can literally chat with this AI, you should keep it in mind that some rules must be applied if you want successful and clear, truthful answers. And these golden rules of prompt engineering are here in the clarity. And it means that prompt should be unambiguous and straightforward. Specificity, the more specific your prompt is, the more directed the AI's response will be. And context, providing context help the AI understand the prompt better, especially for complex tasks, because I said it uses the information it has been taught to it. The LPE, or legal prompting engineering, is specialized skill set already being sought after by law firms around the world, and it requires a higher degree of specificity and sophistication from the prompt author to help mitigate against some of the current shortcomings of generative AI. And the last thing you want is to be featured alongside Mr. Schwartz in the New York Times because you didn't take the time to learn how to become a competent prompt engineer. I don't know who knows the case, but Mr. Schwartz helped the persons to an airline in a regular injury case and used ChatGPT to help write a legal document. But the AI bot gave made-up cases instead. And the lawyer then used these fake cases in court. And now a judge is thinking about punishing the lawyer because of this. So this case shows how the legal world is dealing with one of the first-time AI mistakes have affected a court case. So with all that said, let's take a look of why it is important to draft effective prompts. So when working with AI, it's easy to fall into certain traps that hinder our ability to get the best results. For example, by using vague and short statements that lack content. Let's say you put on or writes in ChatGPT, draft an operating agreement for a private trust company domiciled in Georgia. Many people may have looked at this prompt and say, yeah, what's wrong with this prompt? For starters, the 3 golden rules I mentioned before, clarity, specificity, and context, are not mutually exclusive. Therefore, try to write a prompt with characteristic tied to all of the golden rules to have the AI generate better results. So let's break down and discuss some of the problems found in our example prompts. Problem 1, lacks specificity. Be as specific as possible. This prompt is missing a key of information that could lead to far better results. It's written domiciled in Georgia. Which Georgia? State of Georgia? Georgia, Vermont, the country? We don't know. The second problem is the missing context. Trust companies exist to serve as designated trustees to administer trust contracts. Yet, our example prompt failed to mention anything about the type of trust contract, the type of assets that will be titled to be trusts, or so on. Here is a modified version of our example prompt that adds relevant context to improve the output generated by the LLM, ChatGPT. LLMs sometimes generate information that seems accurate but isn't based on facts, a phenomenon called hallucination. Probably a lot of people knew about it. It's like, imagine when you ask a friend, does it rain outside? And she says, yeah. You look outside and we don't see any rain. You ask back, why did you say it's raining? And he says, yeah, because it's April. In April, it rains. It's like when someone confidently talks about the weather without checking based on past patterns. In law, this can be very, very dangerous. But fortunately, there are ways to prevent AI from hallucinating. And in our case, ChatGPT will provide you an operating agreement, but it will fail to mention that the creation of a private trust company in the US is limited to a handful of states that have been passed state statutes formally recognizing these legal entities, but none of which are Georgia. Means that he will provide like a contract, but he will not say that it's basically illegal. Meaning that you cannot create private trust companies in Georgia because Georgia does not recognize private trust companies. So in order to avoid hallucination, there is a trick. We can literally write, do not hallucinate, literally. Or if it is possible, tell me it is impossible. So we can write, for example, in this case, if such state statutes do not exist, reply by saying, I cannot complete this request due to regulatory uncertainty. And here at the answer, you can see, now ChatGPT's answer will be different if we use a prompt which has the 3 golden rules. If we update the jurisdiction question in our prompt to a state that did legally recognize private trust companies, the model would use the provided contextual information to produce a more accurate result. So this is just one quick example demonstrating how you can score massive productivity gains with just a few really simple techniques. The fourth problem is the structure of the prompt. How I should structure my prompt. This is where you tell, so basically, you can use a lot of techniques. This is called the prompt sandwich. First, you put the instruction. This is where you tell the model what to do, how to use contextual info if provided, what to do with the user inputs, how to construct its output. Then you put the context. These are additional information that can be used by the model to generate its response. This can be information you provide manually, uploaded documents, and more. And then comes the user input. This is a question or query you are submitting to the model. And then the output indicator, which marks the beginning of the model's results. This is considered a good practice to delineate from the rest of the prompt templates. Therefore, it makes a huge difference when you structure your questions. These structured questions are called prompt templates, and there are a variety of structures of them. The most common one, which serves as a basis, called the prompt sandwich, I was explaining. And it is crucial to emphasize that the significance of employing a structured approach, because in prompt engineering, this method serves as the foundation for everything that follows. You don't have to use all the time when you're working with ChatGPT, of course, but you have to understand this technique, this prompt sandwich, in order to deal with deeper legal matters. So basically, when we give the AI more details, it can give better answers. Think of it like adding more cues to a puzzle. And LLMs as such like ChatGPT work kind of like smart guessing games. They use the words you already set to and try to figure out what comes next. Let's say you're explaining a legal case to someone. If you simply say the defendant was found guilty, they might not understand why. But if you provide more context, like the defendant was found guilty of theft because they were caught on camera stealing from the store, then it's clearer why the verdict was reached. And it's similarly, when we give more context on AI, it can provide more accurate and relevant information. Just like understanding the full story behind a legal case helps in understanding the outcome. However, when you're using ChatGPT for easier tasks like translate, you don't have to write down the full sentence like, would you be so kind and translate this above mentioned paragraph into Hungarian so that I could comprehend the message even more? When you just say translate Hungarian, it's quicker. And since LLMs understand context, when you ask for translation a couple of times, you can simply click enter. It will understand that it needs to translate it to Hungarian. Here you can see that I have not asked ChatGPT to translate, for example, alkalom, the last word, to English, but actually it did, because before I have written translate to English, translate to English, translate to English, and when I put just a Hungarian word, it understood that it needs to translate to English. And this technique works perfectly for situations like online job interviews, open book tests, or any time-sensitive matters. And it's important to note that LLMs don't grasp context in the same way humans do. Instead, they rely on patterns in the data they were trained on to generate responses. So prompts serve as inputs for models, like questions, comments, or context. They impact the quality, the relevance, and the accuracy of the model's outputs, the ChatGPT's answer. Thus, designing prompts carefully and strategically is really crucial. First of all, keep it in mind. use the context effectively. Context is crucial for helping the model understand the user's task, goal, and expectation. It includes instructions, examples, keywords, formatting, tone, even, and more. So here you can see a bad prompt. This bad prompt writes a summary for the following court case below. It's ambiguous. But after that below, a revised prompt, you can see it's better, because here, if you add the length sentences, the information you need, names, issue, outcomes, and warn it what it should avoid here, for example, opinions or irrelevant details, then it simply does a better job. Second, provide examples. So popular technique is to give the AI model examples demonstrating the desired input-output format or behavior. Researchers have discovered that including the examples in prompts often yields more accurate results in LLMs. This approach is called or referred to few-shot prompting or few example prompting. And by providing a few examples, the model can use them as a reference when producing results. This method is especially effective with real-world scenarios. Sometimes there are scenarios which you may want to explain to the ChatGPT, especially real-world scenarios, then the outputs can be totally different. The third strategy recommendation is use strong words. Here you can find some examples. Again, if you use ChatGPT for a very simple task, you would not notice the difference that much. It doesn't matter, write an evaluation or evaluate. But if you want to ace in legal prompting, you have to know the basics, how you have to talk with the AI. For example, here, instead of write a summary of the judicial decision, you should use the word summarize, because it confuses a little bit the AI to write, because it's concentrated this prompt write as a task, and writing is much more ambiguous than summarizing, for example, or explain the pros and cons, compare, definitely slightly have a more precise meaning. The fourth one is hallucination. You have to prevent hallucination. This is in legal field, maybe is the most important. In the previous section, we covered AI hallucination, but put simply, it occurs when a language model generates text that sounds right, but is factually wrong. For example, the cases with Mr. Schwartz. This happens when the model lacks enough information to give and to give an accurate response. To prevent this, a small tweak to your prompt can make a big difference. In the previous section, we briefly discussed prompt templates, such as the prompt sandwich. And now let's explore additional prompt templates tailored for Uriah's scenario to enhance outcomes. LLMs like ChatGPT excel at summarizing information. And to maximize their effectiveness, provide a template specifying desired formatting, placeholders for information types, for example, dates, persons, etc. Preferred length, for example. And this prompts the AI to generate a more tailored summary. As you can see, it seems like a little bit on the presentations, like programming, but those are just kind of prompts. While the syntax might seem unusual, it's called Markdown and serves to format plain text, much like you would see in Microsoft Word, Google Docs, and this format assists in directing the AI model to generate responses in a structured manner. Additionally, Markdown allows us to embed instruction with the text, such as list of essential keywords, people, facts for each section, and it helps focusing more precise response. Suppose the law firm has specific preferences for the formats and criteria, case files, or legal analysis. And in that case, you can adjust the prompt template accordingly to meet those requirements. So prompt engineering involves refining the template iteratively to guide ChatGPT effectively in generating response that aligns with your firm's expectations. If you put the before shown markdown prompts, you can see this will be your answer. The answer, it will be the same if you are not putting those markdowns, but it just helps you focusing on the outputs or understanding the outputs better. So you can see that ChatGPT already sorted out the information, how we instructed and bolded the titles so that it looks a bit more organized. And this trick needs a little bit of programming skills, which you can literally learn in a few days or maybe weeks. It's easy actually. What LLMs, large language models, excel at is classification tasks as well. So classification is where they assign text to a specific categories or classes. This involves providing the model with predefined list of categories or allowing it to generate its own. And text classification finds utility in numerous applications, including document categorization, contract analysis, sentiment analysis, identifying relevant case outcomes. And here we are using what we have learned already, that the prompt has 3 different sections, or 4, but the third one consists of 2 sets. So first, the instruction. Identify the legal issue or category based on the provided case summary. Second, the example, a case summary. The third one is the input, which consists of summary and the output delimiter, legal issue. So if you put this prompt to ChatGPT, then he will know that he needs to find a legal issue or category, which will be here, in our case, will contest or undue influence. So ChatGPT then classifies the answer and literally search for an answer from a set of options, which it had learned before, which must fit to this category, the output delimiter, legal issue category. The second task, the extraction. The LLM's ACE, super proficient in extracting information from extensive text sources, and information retrieval is particularly essential for quickly finding specific details or relevant information within large databases or documents, while name entity recognition is crucial for identifying and extracting named entities, such as people, organization, location, which is also very good for tasks like entity linking, on information extraction as well, and knowledge graph construction. What we know about the case. In this example, we demonstrate how ChatGPT can be directed to extract specific types of information along with additional data. Instead of simply requesting a list of all corporate entities mentioned in the text, we also seek to understand that the relationship between these entities. If you'd like, just read quickly the text. So while ChatGPT typically receives text as input and returns text as output, we can instruct it to provide outputs in various formats, including computer programming languages. And in this case, we ask ChatGPT to produce its response in dot language. This is the prompt, output in dot language. And dot language is a format used to generate visual diagrams, like organizational charts. By utilizing the dot language output provided by ChatGPT, we can create visual representation, such as organizational charts. It says, identify all parties involved. Output in dot language. The ChatGPT answer is this one. Here, ChatGPT provides us these answers. We don't understand. And now I want you to open this link, which I will insert here in the chat if I can. But I am not sure how can I do it. I think we cannot insert. Not a problem. So if you would insert this answer of the ChatGPT, which is in dot language, because we asked answer in dot language, to this link, that program will read the dot language. This GitHub page is meant to read dot language, and then it literally makes diagram. So if you put this answer to a program, software, web page, which reads dot language, which was the answer of ChatGPT, you will find there a chart. So why is it so important? Also, first of all, it's fun. Second of all, if you're reading vast text about the correlation hierarchy of a company, you just literally tell ChatGPT, read the text, make in dot language a visualization prompt, and then you put it in a web page or software which reads dot language, and you will understand much more. So extraction prompts can be used heavily by law firms to solve a variety of different problems. And it also looks fun and helps with the understanding. When the question is, where the company is domiciled? Do they have subsidiaries? Who is the CEO? Who is the CFO? Whose dog is that in the kitchen? Then, if it's written in the text, it literally makes you a chart if you put it in a dot language reader software. And it's just easier for you to understand. And maybe you will make less mistakes. So what you should do in order to master prompt engineering? First, familiarize yourself with advanced strategies and techniques, which we covered in this presentation. Learn to leverage language and strategic questioning to optimize prompt creation and achieve exceptional outcomes in your real practice. And to engineer prompts effectively, start by selecting the appropriate model and parameters for your task. And you have to consider factors such as task type and complexity. So determine if it's classification, generation, or extraction, and whether it requires common sense, domain knowledge, or creativity. Then specify the type and structure of text input and output, considering if it's a sentence, paragraph, structure. Is it in dot language? And then assess the reliability, the data quality, the availability of the training data, where these data came from. So you have to, or so you can handle the missing or noisy data. And then the performance and resource constraints. Balance speed and accuracy based on computer power, memory, and desired model performance is important. And here I'm referring to AI solution, not really just ChatGPT. And by evaluating these factors, you can choose the most suitable model, AI tool model solution for your company or for yourself, or the parameters for your specific task. As I mentioned, while ChatGPT is powerful AI tool, it may not be perfectly tailored for law firms seeking technology solutions for legal matters. However, there are numerous AI solutions designed specifically for automating, digitizing, and digitalizing legal operations. And below, I will present some of these solutions. And please note that this is not exhaustive, and I don't think anyhow that those are the best. I just like literally start to or put some of the AI solutions, so you will it should give you an idea of the specialized AI tools available for your consideration. So I mentioned ChatGPT is powerful AI. It may not be perfectly tailored for law firms who are seeking technology solutions for legal matters. However, there are numerous AI solutions designed specifically for automating these tasks. One of them, for example, case test, is good for legal research. Another legal tool is for legal analytics, like machine learning. Relativity is a tool for e-discovery and automate workflows. The fourth one is now pretty high, and as of my knowledge, it's getting implemented into Big Fours as well in Hungary. It's a generative language model. I would say it's like legal ChatGPT. I would say that. And the fifth solution, it can be, for example, Legatis, as for example, this AI automates contract and extracts relevant clauses from thousands of contracts. So lastly, I would like to just give you the takeaways, what I think it's important to remember by this presentation. The main takeaways is, while ChatGPT may not be specifically designed for legal tasks, its natural language processing capabilities and versatility make it a valuable tool for legal professionals to enhance their productivity and efficiency. You communicate with ChatGPT and with some AI with prompts. Also, you can communicate with ChatGPT, actually not just with prompts, but voice recognition, other AI tools. In order to communicate with an AI, you need to have a structure. The prompt needs to have a structure. And you have to follow the golden rules: clarity, specificity, and context. And the best strategy is to use context effectively, provide examples, use strong verbs, and prevent hallucination. And to master prompt engineering, you have to follow those rules. Determine if it's classification, generation, or extraction. What would you like to do? Then specify the type and structure of text input and output, considering if it's a sentence, paragraph, structured data, unstructured. And then let's assess the reliability of data because of hallucination. All right, I think it's a perfect timing. Here, I want to thank you for your attention. And now let us jump to the Q&A session. And here you can ask me about education in Germany, having a career there. If anyhow you are a bit shy, you can send me private message here, I think, but I'm not really sure. And I will just read the question and answer, or follow me on LinkedIn and reach out to me. Okay, thank you so much. So, question 1. How reliable are the responses generated by ChatGPT? If I revisit the same conversation tomorrow, would I receive identical answers? Okay. Responses are typically not identical. So, and additionally, there is a factor for actually known as temperature in the model, and which can be like linked to its randomness. The higher the temperature leads to more creative responses. And conversely, the temperature, if it's the temperature 0%, responses tend to be more consistent. So while the exact wording may vary, generally you would receive similar answers. Okay. Okay, based on your experience, which model is currently considered the most effective for legal research? My concern is that ChatGPT-4 trained up to April 2023 may produce inaccurate information, including referencing clauses that don't exist within hallucination. Hallucination poses a risk even before April 2024, as it's a common issue across LLMs, large language models. And indeed, ChatGPT was trained with data up to April 2023. However, ChatGPT can access the internet through Bing search, and can conduct a web-based research upon request. I don't know who heard about Gemini, because some opinions suggest that Gemini outperforms ChatGPT in internet searches and provides more accurate summaries. And Gemini seamlessly integrates internet search data, offering informed answers from the outset. And regarding hallucination, it's advisable to leverage specialized AI solution, legal text solution, tailored for specific tasks, such as, for example, legal research. And here I would like to mention a strategical advice for legal firms. I don't know who's interested, but the thing is, do not buy AI tools just because you want to be hype or just you want to invest in technology. First, you have to do a legal assessment, operation maturity assessment is called. You have to identify your objectives, your budget, your problems, where you will be after 1 year, which direction you want to take. And then you have to tailor your AI tools for your needs. And some firms, for example, decide to buy a outsourced or a external solution, AI solution, legal tech tools. Some firms or companies decide to develop their own. Some departments apply legal engineer who understand legal as well and IT as well, who can help this legal operation go through smoothly. Okay. I've heard that Gemini surpasses ChatGPT in terms of its memory capacity. Is that accurate? Yeah. It's larger, like I think 10 times or something than ChatGPT-4 Turbo, but it has not been released. It's not available. Can you discuss the privacy implication of using ChatGPT? Oh, specifically, the why clauses from contracts should be anonymized before input. with the risk of tracing back the contributor, thus requiring exclusion even if anonymized clauses are from specific contracts rather than templates. Yeah. So when considering ChatGPT and similar AI models, it's vital to understand that they are designed to recognize patterns within data. Although these models cannot directly identify individuals or entities, there is a theoretical risk that certain data combination, like clauses from contracts or even persons, could indirectly lead to identification. So when dealing with contracts and sensitive data, it's advisable to utilize a specialized legal AI solution because anonymization of data sometimes doesn't work because logically he can draw conclusion who can be who, as we can see. It's smart. Last question: what limitations do different versions of ChatGPT have when it comes to conducting research and generating content? So in general, newer version of ChatGPT 4, for example, tend to be more capable than the predecessors. And limitation actually is based on the limitation primarily revolved around the context window. So for example, ChatGPT 3.5, I think, can deal with effectively with 2,000 characters. But if you use ChatGPT 4, it can go up to 10,000. And also you can use, for example, you can upload PDF. Obviously, you have to pay for ChatGPT 4. So what the takeaway of this question is: learn how to use ChatGPT because it's free. If you learned these prompts and practiced using it, you could go up to ChatGPT 4 because it's usable in every days of life and not with legal matters just, but for example, presentation as well, posts, understanding the legal text or the cases, for example, or when you need to express yourself, it can generate new content or translate, of course, it's kind of easy. But if you work for a legal firm or you want to learn legal AI, you have to understand that those legal solutions needs basic understanding of programming a little bit really, and as well you have to understand those legal tech tools are specialized for different areas of legal fields. All right, I think we are 5 minutes left. So if you don't have any questions more, then I think I will just say goodbye because the next discussion starts in 5 minutes, so you can have a perfect break for just preparing mentally for the next lecture. And thank you so much for attending as well. And feel free to reach out on LinkedIn. Really, I will answer here. Just send me an follow-up button or contact me. I will definitely answer for your questions. Okay. If there are other questions, all right, then I will answer. Previously, I had the same problem as a lawyer from the story. ChatGPT gave me legal cases I couldn't find anywhere. I asked if it made them, but it said it didn't. But it gave me wrong case numbers, parties, topic, even places. Why does it do this? Can I make it only give me real cases with the hallucination trick? yet. The thing is, it's up in ChatGPT, the data are uploaded. What I mean is they were not using real cases to train ChatGPT. It's not for legal stuff. So can I make it only give me real cases? You may tend to use legal tech solutions, or you have to use these prompt techniques as what I showed you, actually. Will quantum computing affect the legal tech? What's next after AI, AGI, ChatGPT? The next will be actually is to integrate AI in everyday's life in every matter. So for example, AI will be everywhere in our life, calling someone. And for example, when we are talking with someone, we, let's say, push a button and it remembers that word and go for the search. Or for example, of course, with hologram, we can use the AI in the future. And in legal cases, there are a lot which will affect basically, but first the basic difference or how it's changed legal field is for paralegal works. What I'm seeing, paralegals tend to do the legal research or the case studies when you read a lot of cases, and it will cease to exist. It's not existing. It will digitalize everything. You cannot basically cheat that easily because of the smart contracts. Let's say it will be much more quicker. Everyone, for example, will have a digitalized ID card. It will be almost impossible to say it was not me, it's not my fault. Everywhere will be maybe cameras, you know. Cybersecurity is also connected to AI. And quickly, one thing is the AI, what we know about the ID robot or in Asimov's book. It's really interesting because it's controversial whether it will exist. Shortly, because of the emotions, the human nature of humans. Probably you have noticed human decision not based on logic. And that thing, which we call psychology and emotions, it cannot be programmed yet. And also, for example, the chemicals, the hormones in your body, it's changes of the environment. So it will take so much time to reach an AI which is very similar to humans. Do I have to repeat instruction like an answer with I don't know? If I read it the next day, will it remember? Do I have to repeat instruction like answer? I don't know. So I think you're asking, no. So for example, if you put the prompt and it will give you another type of answer tomorrow, not because it learned from you. ChatGPT does not learn from you. No. So for example, when you're rude with it, it doesn't matter. Sometimes, of course, when you say bad words, it says like, okay, just chill. But it will not remember you. What it remembers, the conversation. Therefore, there are some conversation type. So you have to follow through the flow, this prompting flow. So it will remember just in one conversation, but it will not remember you go to your friend's place and you ask the same question and I remember you asked me, someone asked me here in this area, location, same questions. But definitely, if you don't get the answer, you have to repeat. You have to repeat if you're not sure about the answer. And if you want to make sure about an answer, please ask widely and use the prompt which I presented. As for hallucination, will ChatGPT tell a law cannot be applied in a country? Yeah, or the law is outdated. In a nutshell, without asking, will ChatGPT tell if something is against law or legally not possible? No. So this is what I showed you, like literally it will create you something without telling you. But by the way, in Vermont, Georgia, you cannot do this one. So for example, if you're searching in Hungary law as well, it says that it not really give amazing answer regarding legal matters. It uses logic and prediction and predictions, but those data are fixed. You cannot change. You cannot train the AI by yourself. But if you're using ChatGPT 4 and if you upload a document, a PDF, it will read the data and it can answer from those data. Or is ChatGPT proper only for creating templates and summary? Yeah, I would say so. It's better for generating content, but I showed you a lot of prompts. You should try literally which answers outputs you will get, and also very important, you have to be precise. This law applies in this country or not? And the last question, I don't know who left or not. Do you actively code? If so, in what programming language? No, I don't actively code. I don't have to. Also, ChatGPT does for the programmers now. So, but I can program in SQL, Python, of course, HTML, but I don't know what for. So I think it's time for us to leave. And if you have really further questions, then feel free to reach out to me on my LinkedIn, and have a nice day.